Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Today I'd like to talk to you about, begin the series on hammocks. Hammocks are a fantastic way of getting up off the ground and out of the bugs in the woodland environment. Now, I can't speak to the desert and etc. I don't have a lot of experience there. But I'd like to share with you my experience with the advantages of having a hammock for a sleep system as opposed to sleeping on the ground or something like that. So, let's start with the Nugget the Wonder Dog has spotted a squirrel. So let's start with the simple. My very first hammock that I ever had was a U.S. Army issue jungle hammock. And I'll set this up in a minute so you can see it. It's nylon, it has a loop on the end, you put a pole through, and then it's hung up with paracord and tied up. These are not good hammocks. They're nylon that stretches, so you pull it as tight as you want, and when you get into it, it sags. By the morning time, your butt's in a bucket and your knees are up near your chin. So you have to keep getting up and retightening it. Other disadvantage to it: any sweat or whatever does not evaporate through it, it just puddles up on your butt, so you end up with diaper rash in the morning. It's not a good hammock. And also, you're at the tipping point. Now when I set them up, I'll demonstrate that, but what I mean is this: when you anchor between 2 points, if you're below the center, then you can swing but not tip. If you're equal with the center, you tip. And most people make the mistake when they sling out a hammock nice night, they get into it, whoop, whoop, and they go off the other side. It's because you're at the tip point. I'm going to show you how to fix that. First, let's start with the most basic thing, and that is a pair of hammock straps. Now, I make my hammock straps out of 550 paracord. And for this, you want actual, genuine USGI braid, 7-strand, 550-pound test paracord. You don't want it to go with something cheaper. You want paracord because you want to have maximum strength for your hanging your butt in the air. Okay? Now, I use these straps. I understand there's other methods. There's the flat webbing straps, there's the ropes, there's etc. And I have tried and used all of them. But for my money and my time and my investment, I will always go with the GI 550 paracords. Now, what you're going to need to start with is a piece about 20 feet long. So, figuring man reaches his height, that's about, 5'10" maybe, 5'10". 2, 3, 4. And this doesn't have to be exact science. Now, I'll burn that in a minute. I'll make 2 of those, but for the sake of time, we'll do it this way. You hear voices and stuff. My neighbors on the other side of the land, they're out today. It's Easter Sunday. Now, put the 2 ends together, tie an overhand knot, good and strong, tie another overhand knot, good and strong. There, so you got a double knot. Hope you can see that. Now, I want to feed it back until I have doubled it effectively in half. Okay? So that when I get to this loop on the end, it's even all the way down. Double check, I'm going to run back down to my other end. Make sure. Now, if I get down here and I'm like that, I know I got something wrong. It should come together like that. Alright, now I've got the middle of it. I want to tie a big overhand knot and another big overhand knot. You'll see this on both ends, and there's a reason for that. There. Now, what I want to do is I want to go down about, say 8 inches, and I want to tie a simple overhand knot. Pull it through, make sure everything's flat, go like 8 inches, tie an overhand knot, going to do this all the way, trying to keep both cords tight and together. You don't have to be exactly 8 inches. You just want a series of knots that are kind of evenly spaced as you go down the cord. You can be up to a foot apart. Don't really matter that much. It does matter that they're close enough that you can have maximum adjustment, and that'll become obvious when I show you how to put it on the tree. Okay, I'm going to do all this. I'll make up the second one, and I'll be right back with you. Stay with me. Okay, guys, what we've got here now is we've got our cord made. This is genuine 550 cord. We've tied a double knot in both ends and a series of knots every, 8-10 inches apart. Now, here's how we put it on the tree. We take it, simply go around the tree, come back, and then we put through any loop. That's it. We pull, and it will cinch up tight on the tree. It can't come off. Now, we will hook our hammock to this. Any one of these loops that come off is where we'll actually hook our carabiner to hang it. Now, why we do it this way? Well, for one thing, this is a double row now going along the tree. This will not bite into the tree easily. It's spreading the load. And the various knots that go around the tree take pressure and also relieve pressure. So we're not going to damage the tree so much. I'm sure some tree hugger is going to say any touching of the tree is damaging. I typically tie to oaks, red oaks, white oaks, etc. These trees are so tough, half the bark blowed off of them, they will survive. So I'm not so worried about that. But as you can see now, when I get ready to take it down, I'll just unhook my hammock, grab that loop I left, and pull. Up and down in just a minute. That's all I got to do. Okay, let me reset the camera, and I'll show you me setting up my first hammock. Stay with me. Okay, guys, now here's the carabiner at the top of my hammock. This is a load-bearing carabiner. Typically, you find these in your Walmarts and things near where they've got the tow chains for trailers, boat trailers, stuff like that. These will be weight rated like 500, 300, whatever. This one is, I believe, is a 500-pound load limit on this. And I would recommend, if you got the money, invest in rappelling harness D-rings. If not, these are a good substitute, because if this can handle 500-pound load, my butt ain't nowhere near that. Now, I take my 550 cord that's hooked to the tree and see these series of knots. Now I pull it to wherever the knot's best suited and hook it. That's it. Now let me reposition and I'll show you this hammock. Stay with me. Okay, guys, this was my very first hammock. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says Hammock Jungle Nylon Model 1966, 1966. And the code on it. This was the very first hammock I ever had. Now notice a bucket that leads up to a pole crossbar, another in the same idea. Now, if I can do this without jiggling it all over the place, I will now show you why I don't consider this to be a really good hammock. It stretches. Now I've just put up the paracord and hooked it like I just showed. Now I'm going to sit down in it. You see how high I am up in the air. Watch. So this is waist level on me right now. I got maybe that much ground clearance now. That's not the paracord stretching. That's this stretching. Now, this is one I started out with. You're sleeping like this. Ugh. And it's a bear to get in and out of. It's just not a good hammock. It stretches too much. It makes a deep V when you get into it, and it's a bear to get out of. Is it tough? Yeah, but there's much better. Now let's start talking about better hammocks. I'll be right back with you. Stay with me. Okay guys, this is the second hammock I ever got. This is a nylon mesh hammock. Now these are commonly called cargo hammocks, day hammocks, whatever you want to call it. But it's a nylon mesh suspended with some ropes. That's all it is. Now, this is my second hammock I got, and it's a better hammock than the military one, but it's got its shortcomings. Now the good news is it's soft and it folds up something you can stick in your pocket. The bad news is it's mesh, which means all of those holes hang up on everything on your belt and etc. But these have a very good use, not just as the traditional hammock, but as a chair. So hold on a second, and I'm going to show you how to use this as a chair. I carry one of these as a chair to carry along with me, so I can set up my main camp, my hammock, and stuff like that. But quite often, I'm using something with a sil nylon tarp or a meltable tarp that I want it anywhere near my fire. So I'll have my camp over there and my fire over here, and this will be the chair I'll be sitting on. Hold on just a second, let me get set up and I'll show you how to do it. Here's what you want to do, guys. You want to take your hammock ropes and you want to put them up high. Now you want your two trees close together, too short to stretch the hammock out. You want them typically like 8 or 9 feet apart. And you're going to take your mesh hammock, and I'll show you when I get done with this how to twist one up to keep it nice and neat like this. What you want to do is you want to take your carabiner and you want to hook it up as high as you can reach. In this case we're going to say, right here would be good. Now I'll go hook up the other side and I'll show you how to sit in it. Be right back. Okay, now what I've done is I've strung my hammock up with 2 ends real high and left my midpoint about waist level, a little above waist level. I'm going to take one side, push straight down, and sit down. Now I have a seat or a chair, and I can sit in this sideways, throw my legs over like a motorcycle and lean back to a side, or I can kind of get into it like you'd think of a hammock. But now I've got a chair to get me up off the ground. This also makes a really good gear loft, which is wonderful whenever I'm camping some other way and I want to get my crap up out of the mud and the bugs and stuff. I can put it in this. Folds up the size of my fist and doesn't make any effort to put it up. All I need is a couple of hammock straps and 2 carabiners. That's it. If I'm never going to use this to hold my weight, I can even get by with the small, cheap Walmart keyring carabiners if I'm never going to put any real weight in it. But I go ahead and carry them. They're backups to the ones I've got on my actual hammock. But I've got a hammock here, see, that I can sit this way, or I can straddle it, lean back against it, whatever, and have a comfortable chair in the field. My fire can be right here. You know, I can put this as low to the ground or as high up as I want just by sliding this up and down the trees further up. I just need 2 trees fairly close together. This allows me to have my actual, tarp and everything over there. And if it's drizzling a little bit, I'll sling a little line over this and put my poncho over me for a little small area where I can sit and do my stuff and not have to worry about it. These nylon mesh hammocks are a worthwhile piece of kit. 1, get rid of the big bulky ropes that come with them. They're normally not that good, and it's normally the first thing to break. 2, replace the attachment system with 2 load-bearing carabiners. 3, use this as a chair, a gear loft, a multitask tool. I can use it for camouflage when I'm hunting. I've draped it over and throw leaves and stuff on and have a mesh net to look out of. I've used it as a fishing net before at a waterfall to catch turtles and fish. I've used it for untold amount of things. The most common thing I use it for today, a quick seat like this. Something that I can carry with my haversack, the size of my fist, in one of my cargo pockets. And I just want to sling up. Tick, tick. I'm set up. Now let me show you the lean back feature, I call it. And you just got to get into them slow and easy because of the loops will hang on everything on you. That means they will hang up on your keys, they'll hang up on your knife, they'll hang up on everything. You got to be careful. I go ahead and straddle it, and I reach behind me and I pull it apart. Spread your legs. Sit down. Now you can lean back. Now you got a nice comfortable lounger that you can sit and enjoy the day with. I can sit here and work on a project with my feet, my butt being off the wet ground or the dirt or whatever. Just a good piece of gear. Well, I think that's enough for the first episode of Hammocks. I'll be back later with my daily carry hammock that I take for sleeping, and my Hennessy hammock, which is my primary hammock camper for most of the year. And I got a couple other tricks. I hope you've enjoyed this so far. I know I've enjoyed making it. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys, and have a great day, guys. Okay, one last thing I promised. Let me show you how to roll this up to make it compact. What you're going to do is you're going to leave one end hooked to the tree. You're going to unhook the other end. You're going to pull it out tight, and you're going to wind it in one direction. I just put my hand loose around it, put my finger through the ring that's at the end of the hammock, and start spinning it clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever I want to do, until it winds all the way up just like a rubber band and becomes tight. When it starts to kink up on itself, I'll reach up with my left hand, grab the middle, bring the two rings together, suspend it there and let go and let it twist, just like you make cordage on your thigh. That's what you're doing. I'm going to put two twists so it puts together and winds itself up. Here's how we do it. Okay, I'm going to pull it loose through my hand, stick my finger into the loop, and just start going in a circle. See how it winds up? It'll get tighter and tighter. You just keep going until it starts to want to kink up on itself. Because you're in essence doing it like you'd make twisted cordage. See how it's nice and tight and small now, all the loose fibers pulled up, and it don't hardly want to twist anymore. Now, holding onto the ring, I slide my hand up to the middle, come up, grab the other ring, that's it. Now it won't untwist from itself because they're twisted in opposite directions. So all I gotta do is just grab a piece, do like this, till it gets down here close, take the twisted up cords, wrap it around. That's it. Goes in the cargo pocket. Sweet and simple. Thanks for watching, guys.